I noticed an interesting development this year when I was talking to the folks at Intuit. We were discussing all of the issues that people face with doing online taxes. And for the first time, they indicated that security was not a huge issue for people. In the past, one of the biggest roadblocks had always been consumers' concern with how secure their information was online. But now it seems that most of us feel much safer on the internet than we have in the past. That's both good news and bad news. It's great that we're more readily taking advantage of all the opportunities that the internet offers, but I hope that we're doing so with our eyes wide open. As we do more and put more personal information online, we also need to increase our vigilance. I encourage you to do your taxes online, bank, shop online, all of that. But I also strongly suggest that you maintain perspective and fully realize that people out there are still trying to steal your information, your money. As more of us participate, there's more fish in the barrel, so to speak. So there's a whole new class of security software to consider, one which is aimed at the newest wave of online threat, which is identity theft through phishing. Now, we are all targeted by phishing attacks, whether we know it or not. They're the emails that come to us that look like they're coming from a bank or from eBay or PayPal that say there's a problem with our account or that we need to do something administratively to our account. And they nicely provide a link there saying, click on this link to log into your account. When you click on that link, it looks like your banking site. It looks exactly the same, except it's not. It's actually a phishing site. And when you enter your user ID and password, which is what they're looking for, they skim off that information and then pass you on into your account as though it's perfectly normal. So you probably don't even know there's a problem until much later when the ramifications start to occur. Now, we have to protect ourselves against phishing sites, and one of the best ways to do that is with a new piece of software called Norton Confidential. Now, Norton Confidential is a part of Symantec's entire security suite. It plugs in, and when we install it in our system, it becomes a tab that we can select to configure. And I'm just going to show you some of the settings now so you can understand the main things that Norton Confidential does. And the top here, the transaction protection is the main benefit of Norton Confidential. Now, the first thing that it does is it looks for known phishing sites and blocks them, protects us against them. But it also looks for all the attributes that phishing sites have in common, because there's some things in the way they're built that are common amongst all of them that are very different from what legitimate sites look like. So it actually analyzes the site as you're about to visit it and says, wait a minute, it doesn't have the same DNA as a normal banking site. It doesn't have the same signatures as the normal banking site. So there could be a problem here, and it warns us. So it actually looks at the structure of the site before we go in and protects us from new phishing sites. The other thing that it does is it also protects our passwords, which is huge for most of us. We all have trouble keeping track of all of our passwords. We forget them. We write them down in places that aren't necessarily secure. Here's how it works. It basically protects all of our passwords, keeps them in one place so that we can find them, and auto-populates, if we choose, the different password fields for us. But the other thing it does is it remembers all of our passwords, and unless it's us actually putting in the information and logging into these sites, it protects them from being sent out of the system. So if a small application got loaded on our computer that ferreted through our computer to find all of our passwords and then tried to send them out without our knowing about it, it'll recognize those character strings and it'll say, wait a minute, the user's got to determine whether or not that information can be sent out, so it protects our passwords as well. Now, as is always the case with security, we're dealing here with a moving target. Norton Confidential will constantly be upgraded to respond to new threats online. Confidential doesn't replace any of our other security software. You still need your firewall, your antivirus software. It's another layer of security, and it's especially important for those of us who bank or do a lot of financial transactions online. Don't be afraid to do those things, but be prepared, be protected with a little knowledge, the right tools to keep your data safe and secure. And that's all the time that we have for the show today. I hope you enjoyed our look at the new and fun things in your home and home office. And I've got to go and find Plume now. We have some research to do. We'll see you next time, right here on Dotto Tech.